This is your news source evening bulletin for today, Wednesday, the 20th day of July in the year 2022. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting, and here's what we're tracking tonight. The St. George's High School went up in flames this afternoon, resulting in the displacement of more than 420 students and several teachers. The Guyana Fire Service was summoned to the early afternoon blaze after the security guard and the teacher raised an alarm when smoke was seen billowing from a section of the two-story wooden and concrete building. The school is located just across the road from the historic St. George's Cathedral. The recently refurbished cathedral was not affected. At the fire scene, the Guyana Fire Service was quick in its response and arrived at the scene with 4 fire tenders. The fire service was able to source water from the nearby canal along Church Street. But despite their best efforts, the fire quickly enveloped the entire wooden top of the building within 10 minutes, resulting in the roof caving in. A teacher who was at the school conducting remedial classes with transition students said once she was alerted to the fire, she quickly ensured all of the students were out of the building and the compound. She also managed to get her car out of the schoolyard.
So I was about to resume the afternoon session when I was told by the cleaner that she saw some smoke coming from this room. And I grabbed everything. I told the children, grab everything and let's run out of the school, out of the building. And we did that. We just grabbed all that we had and we ran quickly as we could. And when I came in front here, I saw a little smoke.
Minister of Education Priya Manik Chan, who visited the scene of the fire, said every time there is a school gutted by fire, it is a sad and worrying problem. She said students will likely be affected, but her ministry will begin looking at places to house them when the new school year begins in September.
It's a major issue because we're actually seeing a better retention rate and more students coming in because of various pathways, or staying in because of various pathways, not only full out academia that you're accustomed to, the 20 grade ones and so on, but the TVET courses. This is a particular school that we had a lot of interest in because of what we thought we could do with it. And so space is an issue in and around Georgetown, in and around everywhere, but particularly in and around Georgetown. Space can be a serious issue for us, so this is really quite heartbreaking.
And Chief Education Officer Dr. Marcel Hudson said once he learned of the fire, he rushed across to the scene. He said the Education Ministry will not waste any time in looking at alternative arrangements to accommodate the displaced students and their teachers.
Yes, this is sad, but I think the educating our children is priority, and so immediately we will have to find an alternative as to where to house these children until this building may be reconstructed. So it is something that we're thinking about right now. Actually, I've just asked for the numbers to find out how many students that we have currently and how many would have been added to the register.
The Guyana Fire Service has launched an investigation into the blaze and has already started to take statements from those who were at the building when the fire was first noticed. More news coming up in just a moment. Stay with us.
How fast is fiber? Think fast. GTT Fiber has 3 packages with download speeds of 50, 100, and 150 megabits per second. That's fast enough to stream movies and music, to chat with Gran and Fran, to study, and more. What would you do? Upgrade to GTT Fiber today and don't get left behind tomorrow.
Guyana's development agenda will be on display at the Guyana National Stadium from July 22nd to 24th, 2022. Come and experience the new blueprint of future infrastructure and construction transformation with over 200 local, regional, and international companies. International Building Expo, a new frontier for building a One Guyana.
Ujamaa 2.0 exhibition and sale is back. The biggest African exhibition yet will be held on July 21st and 22nd from 9 a.m. on Main Street. Come out and support our pre-emancipation event by local artisans and entrepreneurs as they showcase unique arts and craft, food, African fashion jewelry, home decor, plants, and much more. Exhibition starts at 9 a.m. and ends at 6 p.m. The place to be on July 21st and 22nd, 2022 is Main Street, Georgetown, between Church and Miller Street. See you there!
Give me one dembe for my whole family. Their bread is tasty.
Baked with love and passion by our dedicated team of fine bakers, we give you dembe. With the same great quality you're used to, we now have a slightly new look. Here in Land of Canaan, we are ready to give you even more. Don't wait until you're hungry. Reach for a slice of dembe. Dambake, healthy, wholesome living.
Guyana is receiving more profits from oil production than ExxonMobil and its partners in the Stabroek Block. So far, the country has received over $700 million in profit oil and royalty. The royalty is paid by Exxon and its partners and is not recoverable.
Opposition leader Aubrey Norton has submitted a motion to the National Assembly calling for an international investigation to probe the bribery and corruption allegations that have been leveled against Vice President Bharat Jagdeo in a U.S. News report. The Vice President has repeatedly denied the allegations. Mr. Jagdeo became the center of a corruption scandal after a bribe for contracts allegation was made against him in an undercover Vice News investigative report. With the opposition coalition not letting up in its calls for the allegations to be independently probed, the opposition leader has prepared a full motion seeking the international investigation. Just after presenting the written motion and supporting documents to the clerk of the National Assembly this afternoon, the opposition leaders said the country cannot and should not turn a blind eye to the serious allegations of corruption swirling around the vice president.
Particularly, it calls for a credible international investigative team to investigate the allegations of bribery and corruption leveled against Vice President Bharat Jagdeo. May I also point out to you that Guyana is a signatory to the UN Convention on Corruption, and therefore Guyana has an obligation to live by that convention, which no doubt establishes the need for action against corrupt activities.
And leader of the Alliance for Change, Kemraj Ramjatan, reiterated the calls for Mr. Jagdeo to step aside to make way for an international investigation. Ramjatan said even if there is no investigation, the vice president should still be removed from the position because of the magnitude and seriousness of the corruption allegations against him.
And you have a vice president of the country who literally is being babysitted by the president in connection with such serious allegations. You can't go after the middleman or the investor when you get the boss man so much involved. You know, and it is important then that we make sure that there is an independent commission of inquiry, if not, as like the AFC had asked, for a World Bank investigation. It is very important that we have an investigation. And by the way, he must come off as vice president completely, just like every other public servant who would have been interdicted. Until he is cleared and exonerated, well, then he could come back. And even then, we don't think he should come back.
The opposition has threatened other political actions if the National Assembly shoots down its motion. The governing People's Progressive Party has a one-seat majority in the current National Assembly, but usually relies on the support of government advisor and opposition member of Parliament Deputy Speaker Lennox Schumann, who represents a joined party list in the Assembly, but votes many times along with the government. On the eve of the long-awaited sitting of the National Assembly, the Speaker Mansour Nadir has informed the opposition that he will no longer be allowing its motion on the rise in the cost of living, which calls on the Assembly to address the issue and bring relief to citizens, to be presented and debated. The motion was first presented to the Assembly by opposition member Annette Ferguson back in January. It was resubmitted in February after some advised amendments were made. In April, just after the motion was approved, it was withdrawn by the Speaker over an issue related to one of the standing orders of the Assembly. Eventually, the motion was again given the green light, and with the opposition preparing to present and debate the motion tomorrow, it received information late this afternoon that the Speaker had once again withdrawn the motion. The opposition today said it was taken aback by the latest move by the Speaker, adding that it is becoming clear that there may be instructions for the motion and debate about the rising cost of living not to be allowed to make it to the floor of the Assembly. The opposition believes the motion should be allowed to move forward and the Assembly examine ways that collectively to tackle the rise in the cost of living across the country, which continues to affect families and households. Tomorrow's sitting of the National Assembly is a private members' day, which should allow the examination of motions and issues raised by the opposition. 27 new officers of the Guyana Defence Force Standard Officers Course and 40 reserve officers of the Reserve Officers Course were commissioned this afternoon, having successfully completed their courses and now attaining the rank of second lieutenants in the case of the GDF members and cadet officers in the case of the other services. Second Lieutenant Delano Roberts from the Pomeroon region was adjudged the best graduating student of the Standard Officers Course, while Second Lieutenant Marvin Richmond of Linden was adjudged the best graduating student for the Reserve Officers Course. For the special prizes, Second Lieutenant Within Antigua received the prize for Best Military Knowledge for the Standard Officers Course, while the top student for the Reserve Officers Course also received the prize for Best Military Knowledge for that course. Other prizes were handed out for Best Drill Student, Best Shot, and Best Fitness. President Irfan Ali, in delivering the charge to the newly commissioned officers, encouraged them to be grateful to their family and friends who made sacrifices for them during the past 2 years on the courses. The President said every member of the Guyana Defence Force has a role to play in the country's development. He told the newly commissioned officers to learn from the mistakes of those members of the GDF who have found themselves running afoul of the law, and to pay attention and follow those who have excelled in their military careers.
I urge you never to stop, never to give up. Make use of the opportunities that are before you. Continue on your academic pathway. Build a strong and resilient future, not only for this institution, but for yourselves and your family. I want to assure you that as your Commander-in-Chief, I will lead the charge to ensure that in the coming years, the dignity and honor and pride that comes with this uniform will be upheld in a way in which your welfare, your salaries will reflect the honor which you truly deserve.
The President also told the new officers that there are many officers who have performed outstandingly over the years and have left their footprint across the country.
I'm proud of those who contributed to your development, the trainers. And I urge you to reflect on this moment and the training you have undergone as necessary sacrifice that will shape you into the type of leaders you will be.
It was also noted that more resources will continue to be channeled to the Guyana Defence Force to assist in its work and the development of the ranks. The Standard Officers Course is now conducted over 2 years and has a wider program to improve the academic qualification and military training of those persons who
Get ready for the most anticipated launch of the year. It's the official launch of Book a Ride, Guyana's premier ride-sharing transportation service. And we're doing it big with a concert you won't want to miss. Featuring for the first time in Guyana, international dancehall and pop superstar Jada Kingdom.
I can remember me did want to hold up. I know they tell you this is something you're ready for. Go love the same way. Let's get married, done with the play dates.
Alongside soca sensation Nessa Preppy.
Red gal whining, red woman whining, red gal whining, red woman.
Bollywood and chutney princess Avita Singh. With performances by C. Kush and Drew Tobin. Hosted by Gully Raz. All the excitement is happening at Tower Poolside on Friday, August 5th. Guyana will come alive. Tickets are $5,000 for general admission and $20,000 for the exclusive VIP. It's the Book a Ride launch concert on Friday, August 5th. You won't want to miss it.
Doors and windows, Republic. Rooms and more, Republic. A brand new rug on the floor. Come to Republic, come to Republic. Whatever you need, you got it. Come through and get your mortgage. Live the dream with Republic.
95 to 100% financing, 50% waiver of negotiation fees, plus one lucky person gets their mortgage paid in full. Turn someday into today. Talk to Republic Bank about your low-cost mortgage today.
Sunshine snacks, cheese balls, grab a sunshine, double cheese balls. We a crunch on a cheese balls. Daddy nickel pick, double cheese balls. Sunshine snacks, cheese balls, grab a sunshine snack, cheese balls. Stuff cheese in every bite, flavor in every crunch. Extra cheese, we love it so much. Love cheese in every bite. Grab a sunshine, double cheese balls. We a crunch on a cheese balls. Daddy nickel pick, double cheese balls. Sunshine snacks, cheese balls.
Grab a Sunshine Snacks Cheese Puffs today. More cheese, more flavor.
Get a chance to win a brand new Toyota Race when you apply for a home loan. Get pre-approved by applying online, in bank, or at the Building Expo. Apply now. Promotion ends July 24 and the drawing will take place on the final day of the International Building Expo. Here's your chance to win and drive home a Toyota Race. GBTI, we see Guyana through your eyes.
Chief Justice Roxanne George has set the 11th of August as the date when she will hand down her ruling in the case brought by Opposition Chief Whip Christopher Jones, challenging the President's unilateral appointment of Clifton Hicken as the acting police commissioner. Jones, through his attorneys, has been arguing that the President has no power under the Constitution to appoint someone to act as police commissioner when there is no opposition leader or duly constituted police service commission in place. Senior counsel Roysdale Ford, who is representing Mr. Jones, argued that the President's duty to appoint an acting commissioner of police must be found within the Constitution, and he expressed it in a provision or in an identifiable source of power. He submitted that the express source of power to appoint an acting commissioner of police is Article 211 of the Constitution, noting that it is common ground that the President could not appoint or exercise the power conferred on him or his office because at the time there was no leader of the opposition and no police service commission in place. But the Chief Justice quizzed Mr. Ford on whether the President should have left the office vacant until the offices of the Leader of the Opposition and the Police Service Commission were constituted. Ford responded that the President had other options available to him if the government's argument is that a vacuum was created. Among the options available to the President, Mr. Ford said that he could have asked Mr. Nigel Hoppy to stay on as acting police commissioner for a little bit longer, or to appoint anyone of his choice to perform the functions of police commissioner. He said even Mr. Hicken could have been that person if the President so desired. But Mr. Ford noted that for the President to appoint Mr. Hicken to act as police commissioner without the input of the opposition leader or the Police Service Commission amounts to a breach of the Constitution. He said although the President has prerogative powers, those powers do not apply in this circumstance. He also pointed out that the doctrine of necessity does not apply in the case. The President has said that he utilized the doctrine of necessity to make the appointment. Attorney General Anil Nandlal argued to the court that the court should not look at the President's pronouncement but on legal arguments before it. His argument is that the president could not leave the office of the police commissioner vacant simply because the opposition leader and the police service commission were not in place. He said if that person to consult with is absent, it cannot be that the principal objectives of the constitutional provision will be frustrated. Nandlal said the president's action might not have been perfect, but in the circumstances his actions were reasonable. Having described the matter as one of national importance, the Chief Justice said she will consider the arguments and make her ruling on the 11th of August. Since the case was filed, the President's office has invited the opposition leader to consultations for the appointment of Mr. Clifton Hicken to serve as acting police commissioner, although the President had already made the appointment on his own. Well, faced with reports of a shortage of sugar and price gouging across the country, the government of Guyana has directed the Guyana Sugar Corporation to make sugar available to the Guyana Marketing Corporation for sale at a lower price than supermarkets and shops. The President's office announced this morning that the GMC, which is located on Robb Street, will be selling packaged sugar at $150 per pound. Additionally, at market locations in regions 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 10, sugar will be sold by the GMC from this Thursday at the lower price. In most shops and supermarkets, customers are being asked to pay between $200 and $400 per pound for sugar. The Guyana Sugar Corporation, Guy Succo, has indicated that there is no shortage of bulk sugar, while admitting that a shortage exists in packaged sugar and that issue will be addressed soon. President Irfan Ali has also indicated that there is an adequate supply of sugar available from Guy Succo and there is no shortage. But now many businesses, including bakeries, are complaining that they are being limited in the amount of sugar they could access. While there was an initial plan for the GMC to be responsible for the sale of bulk sugar also, that plan had to be changed over storage issues at the GMC main office. As part of the efforts to prevent cases of suicide in Guyana, the government will present a bill to the National Assembly to address preventative measures to combat suicide and mental health awareness. That bill will be presented tomorrow. A section of the bill will also seek the repeal of the law which makes attempted suicide a criminal offense in this country. According to the Minister of Health, Dr. Frank Anthony, there have been numerous calls for the removal of attempted suicide from the list of criminal offenses.
This is a bill that we have been working on for some time, and that is, it encompasses things that we can do to prevent suicide from happening. And the bill also provides for the repeal of a section of our law that criminalizes persons who attempt suicide. So this has been something that people have been advocating for a long time, to remove that section of our law. So this bill, once we pass it, would help to repeal that section.
Guyana has one of the highest suicide rates in this region, and when placed on the per capita index, the suicide rate is among the highest in the world. The Minister of Health admitted that suicide remains a haunting issue in Guyana, despite the many efforts to address the problem over the years. He said those efforts are continuing.
Suicide has been a problem for Guyana for a number of years. We are considered to be one of the countries with high suicide rates, and we have been working to reduce the numbers, and in fact the numbers have come down, but it is still a problem. So we need to make sure that we can bring down these numbers further, understand the root causes of suicide, and to take action based on those findings. So we are approaching it in different ways.
The Ministry of Health is expected to soon release additional policies and initiatives that seek to reduce the number of suicide cases. During a public forum last year, a visiting Columbia University professor who was conducting a study in Guyana's suicide problem said there is an urgent need for solutions to be found to Guyana's mental health situation. The minister said efforts are afoot to arrive at those solutions. The numbers for the National Suicide Prevention Hotline are 223-0001, 223-0009, or 600-7896. Any of those numbers could be called to speak to a counselor.
Combo pack up, we feeling best. Sunshine stacks above the rest. There is no contest, is the best mix, so we feeling best. Best value to how you feeling. Ole cheesy, too much ripples and more combo pack of flavors galore, yeah. Combo pack up, we feeling best. Sunshine stacks above the rest. There is no contest, is the best mix, so we feeling best.
Sunshine Snacks Combo Pack, now with a new look and new mix. Grab your pack today.
Best mix, so we feeling best.
The International Monetary Fund has thrown its support behind Guyana's plans to bring down electricity costs through the landmark Gas to Energy project. This project is being supported by ExxonMobil and is expected to bring great relief to the people of Guyana through a massive reduction in electricity costs.
Get a chance to win a brand new Toyota Race when you apply for a home loan. Get pre-approved by applying online, in bank, or at the Building Expo. Apply now! Promotion ends July 24 and the drawing will take place on the final day of the International Building Expo. Here's your chance to win and drive home a Toyota Race. GBTI, we see Guyana through your eyes.
Doors and windows, rooms and more. A brand new rug on the floor. Come to Republic, come to Republic. Whatever you need, you got it. Come through and get your mortgage. Live the dream with Republic.
95 to 100% financing, 50% waiver of negotiation fees, plus one lucky person gets their mortgage paid in full. Turn some day into today. Talk to Republic Bank about your low-cost mortgage today.
Get in the game with Buster. Win a full gaming setup, Xbox X, gaming chair, gaming speaker and headset, or any of over 60 weekly prizes like Oculus Quest 2, Mini 2 drone, Nintendo Switch, and many more top gaming prizes. Check below for details.
Fuel it up and drive, super 95. Tune up, fuel it up and drive, super 95. Tune up. Protect your fuel system, boy. High mileage and performance, boy.
Guy Oil Super 95 gasoline gives you more reasons to drive and is available at 56 service stations nationwide. For affordable price, high performance, and high mileage, choose Guy Oil's Super 95 gasoline.
Fuel it up and drive.
Across the region tonight in neighboring Suriname, thousands of Surinamese continue to protest, demanding the resignation of the president, Shan Santoki. They're calling on him to step down if he continues to fail to change the socio-economic policies of his two-year-old administration, which they say have brought untold hardships to the population. The president, who was scheduled to leave the country earlier this week for a Mercosur meeting, cancelled all travel plans and said he will be addressing the issues back home. He has also summoned his foreign affairs minister, who was attending conferences in Washington. The demonstrators have been gathering outside the Parliament building in Suriname and the office of the head of state, and they've been protesting with their calls for him to step down from office. Last week it was revealed that through falsified payment orders, several individuals managed to obtain millions of Surinamese dollars from a bank account of the Ministry of Finance and Planning. That disclosure, made by an opposition legislator in Parliament and confirmed by the government, is the latest scandal to hit the Santoki government, which took office in July of 2020. Citizens have also complained at the decision of the president to appoint family members, including his wife, as well as friends of the vice president, to senior positions within his government. In Trinidad and Tobago, 8 police officers have been charged in court for the murder of 3 men. The murder took place 2 years ago. The Trinidad and Tobago Police Service said the 8 officers, including a sergeant and police corporal, appeared virtually before a Port of Spain magistrate. The 8 police officers have been remanded to jail, and the matter has been adjourned until the 16th of August. The Trinidad and Tobago Police Service said on the 27th of June 2020, a party of officers from the Guard and Emergency Branch and the Interagency Task Force were on an exercise when they stopped a gold-colored Tida motor car with 3 male occupants. The officers alleged that during the incident, one of the occupants of the vehicle pointed a firearm at them, causing them to discharge their firearms in the direction of the men. The men died at the scene. An investigation was launched into the incident, and the findings of that investigation was sent to the DPP, and the DPP offered the charges. And finally tonight, international news. The European Commission has urged countries across the bloc to cut their gas use by 15% from August to March of next year, amid fears that Russia could halt supplies. It says the target is voluntary, but will become legally binding if Moscow turns off the taps this summer. The key Nord Stream 1 pipeline from Russia to Germany has been offline for maintenance for 10 days and is due to be turned back on this Thursday. But there are concerns that Moscow will not follow through on its promise. Adding to the uncertainty, Vladimir Putin, the Russian president, said earlier today that it was not clear whether or in what condition a turbine from the pipeline would be returned in after repairs in Canada. The Russian president said there was a risk that the equipment would have to be switched off at some point and Nord Stream 1 would be shut down. Russia supplied Europe with 40% of its natural gas last year, with Germany the continent's largest importer in 2020, followed by Italy. And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting and encouraging you to stay safe.